Joe Rogan and 50 Cent are coming out and exposing all the celebrities that were involved with Diddy, including Jay-Z, Oprah Winfrey, Kamala Harris, and more. Million-dollar deals that were involved in buying the silence of these people, with details of how Oprah Winfrey was using her school to supply minors to Diddy, are finally being made public.
So many horrific accusations, though, involving young singers, children.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's insane.
He makes R. Kelly look like a decent guy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
It is crazy. And meanwhile, the guy was like hanging out with Oprah, hanging out with Obama.
Jay-Z,
Everybody.
I'm sure the Clintons were there at some point.
Maybe Bill.
Exclusive interviews directly from the victims that Diddy abused are shedding light on how the biggest sex trafficking ring in Hollywood works. Celebrities who were best friends with Diddy are now trying to flee the U.S. to escape conviction. First of all, we have Ellen DeGeneres, someone who has long been known to be abusive and toxic. Ellen has had Diddy on her show multiple times, and now, after Diddy's arrest, has left the country with her wife, Portia de Rossi. The most interesting part of this, however, is that Ellen is even trying to change her appearance. She moved to a small village and now wants to disappear completely from the public spotlight.
Ellen DeGeneres and her wife Portia de Rossi have reportedly fled the US, bound for the UK, after Donald Trump's landslide victory. Numerous publications are reporting the couple have left the United States permanently. There are also reports the couple have put their Montecito mansion on the market. Entertainment publication The Wrap has the exclusive story and said, Ellen DeGeneres and wife Portia de Rossi have moved to rural England, put their Montecito estate on the market, and plan to never return to the United States, telling friends the election of Donald Trump was their primary motivation. Ellen DeGeneres has been a vocal Trump critic, so the move doesn't come as a surprise to most.
Really bad. If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be?
Does one of us have to come out alive?
Ellen DeGeneres has been seen rocking a new hair color since moving to the UK. The comedian changed her signature blonde look to brunette as she was seen enjoying a night out with friends at a pub called The Farmer's Dog. Ellen went out with her wife, Portia de Rossi, and a few friends, including the Torn singer Natalie Imbruglia. Sources told TMZ earlier this week that Ellen and Portia moved to England because of Donald Trump's re-election. They have reportedly settled into their new home in the southwest region of England, but they purchased the property before the election. Hey, I guess if Ellen's got a new place, why not get a new do?
Ellen has always been a hypocrite, acting like she's the nicest person in the world, but actively being abusive to the people she worked with behind the stage. Joe Rogan himself talked about how Ellen's behavior looks staged. Word on the street is that Ellen did all of this so people wouldn't associate her with anything bad. Even now, her fans claim that everyone who speaks out against Ellen is lying.
Yo, Ellen, we go so far back. You don't tell these people how far back we go.
I know, but I wear T-shirts. I don't know what that means. Anyway, all right, let's...
I mean...
You hold that.
Okay.
All right.
I got this take two if the joke didn't work.
No, it's okay.
I don't want no problems.
No, it's okay.
No, hold on. Hey, so, cheers. Hey!
Ellen's nice guy act is finally being exposed for what it really is, and critics are peeling back the layers on her relationship with Diddy. Ellen mentioned multiple times on live TV that she was going to Diddy's parties, and specifically mentioned his after parties. Diddy apparently trusted Ellen so much that he was willing to have a party at her place. At this point, I don't think anyone is being fooled by Ellen's lies, the only one who has packed her bags and moved out of the US. Oprah Winfrey is right behind her. Oprah has always been linked to people who were known sexual abusers. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, and Diddy were all best friends with Oprah, and Oprah allegedly took $1 million from Kamala Harris, too. Interestingly, Oprah has long been involved in controversy. Back in 2007, and then again in 2009, reports came out that 12 and 13-year-old girls studying at Oprah's school, the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa, were being sexually harassed. This was around the same time that Oprah was seen visiting Harvey Weinstein and Sean Diddy Combs. The last 10 months, ever since Diddy's arrest, Oprah was completely silent about the Diddy situation. But now, after she's seen Jay-Z end up in a lawsuit and knows that victims are coming forward, she is trying to distance herself from the situation. Oprah has pulled this same tactic multiple times. She becomes friends with sexual abusers and pedophiles, and once they get exposed, she tries to deny any connection.
But you haven't kind of spoken yet publicly about what's going on.
I think that this is, I'm always trying to look for the rainbow in the cloud, whatever is the silver lining. And this is what I do know for sure. When something this major happens, when you have the fallout, 50 women coming forward, that it's a watershed moment. And what I do believe is actually happening is that, first of all, it's triggering a lot of unreleased pain, repressed anger, guilt, and suffering that a lot of women have had. I happened to be on set with several actresses the other day, and we were filming some things, and they hadn't slept over a period of 2 or 3 days, and I was like, what is that? I said, oh, you guys are suffering from PTSD.
And when you start talking about it out loud, too, when
everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. And so I think this is a watershed moment. We'll have lost this moment. I think this is a moment where no matter what business you work in, there have been women who not only had the disease to please, that's a part of it, but who felt that in order to keep my job, in order to keep my position, in order to keep moving forward, I've got to smile, I've got to look the other way, I got to pretend he didn't say that, I got to pretend he didn't touch me. I think those days are about to be over.
Are over. And if it happens to you back in the day, you would say, sometimes you're not even aware what he just said wasn't really inappropriate.
I know you've had a couple moments.
Where you just think, what did he just say?
Yes, I remember Gail had a moment when she came and said to me what somebody said that was so inappropriate. I was like, oh my God, you can sue over that. But
no, and all I said was, what did you say? And then they repeated it.
Yes. Terrible.
I just sat there typing with my 20-something-year-old.
You pretend you didn't hear it.
Yes.
You pretend it's okay. You pretend you didn't.
No, it isn't. You're right, Jeff. It absolutely, you're absolutely right.
But a lot of women have been silenced, and I know.
But I do think it's going to change.
Being a victim of child sexual abuse, that when you feel like you cannot be heard, and then other people start speaking out, it makes you feel like, oh, now I can speak out too.
Yeah.
So,
and you've been speaking about it for
years.
Why didn't Oprah speak out before Diddy went to jail, or before Jay-Z ended up in a lawsuit? Oprah has a habit of lying, and has already been caught lying about accepting millions of dollars in return for her support.
When?
Not talking about the election. Thank you very much.
Oh, is it true that they paid you $1 million for the endorsement for Kamala?
Not true.
Not true, okay.
I was paid nothing, ever.
What do you think about all the celebrities with their mass exodus?
I'm not talking about it.
Do you think Prince Harry's gonna lose his visa now that Trump's president? Thank you, Oprah.
But her denials were debunked by FEC filings showing 2 payments of $500,000 to Oprah's company. This commentator said Oprah Winfrey was asked if she got paid for her endorsement of Kamala Harris. Winfrey denied ever being paid, but FEC filings says she receives 2 payments of $500K each. Why is she lying? This commentator slammed Oprah, saying, why would Harris pay someone to endorse her? And if you're Oprah, why do you need another $1 million? For God's sake, give it to a food bank or people in need. There is just such a rot in American campaign money, celebrity, and how it's spent. I am so grossed out by this.
If such a high-profile name like Jay-Z has come out, could more celebrity names be tied to these lawsuits? What do you think we can expect?
No question. This may just be the first celebrity domino, and Jay-Z was unmasked as celebrity A, but let's not forget there's a celebrity B in that same lawsuit that allegedly witnessed the sexual assault, a female celebrity. And there was someone who went on CNN earlier this week and said that his sexual assault was witnessed by another celebrity as well. So I think we're going to see more celebrity names identified very soon.
All right, Nima Rani, thank you so much for joining us. As you said, this is one that has entered the court of public opinion. It's nice to have your actual legal advice on it.
Now, while Oprah, Ellen, Ashton Kutcher, and J-Lo have stayed quiet about Diddy, other celebrities like 50 Cent and Jamie Foxx have actually spoken out about what Diddy did. In his new Netflix special, What Had Happened Was, Jamie Foxx went as far as naming Diddy as the person who drugged him and was responsible for his hospitalization back in 2020. Jamie spoke out against Diddy. He became the victim of physical assault by an unknown man. Just a few days ago, while Jamie Foxx was at a restaurant with his family, an unnamed person assaulted him and resulted in him needing stitches. Now reports are coming in that this person was actually there on Diddy's orders and was sent to silence Jamie Foxx. Both Diddy and Jay-Z have a history of violence, and they aren't afraid to get their hands dirty.
Jamie Foxx is speaking out after being injured during a confrontation at his birthday dinner, a day after the Oscar winner was allegedly involved in a physical altercation with an unidentified person, resulting in him needing to get stitches. The 57-year-old takes to Instagram on December 14th to address the situation and thank fans for their support. Jamie first shares a simple message on his feed that reads, "The devil is busy, but I'm too blessed to be stressed." He then writes in the caption of the post, "The devil is a lie. Can't win here. Thank you to everybody that pray and check on me. When your light is shining bright, they try to bring you darkness, but they don't know that you're built for it. The lights have been shining bright." On December 13th, the Ray actor was celebrating turning 57 with his family at a restaurant in Beverly Hills when things reportedly took a turn. A rep for the actor told NBC News at the time, Jamie Foxx was at his birthday dinner when someone from another table threw a glass that hit him in the mouth. He had to get stitches and is recovering. The police were called and the matter is now in law enforcement's hands.
Exclusive interviews from the people that Diddy abused bring another celebrity who was involved with Diddy into the public spotlight. An exclusive interview by CNN revealed that Jay-Z had been involved in the rape of a 13-year-old minor in 2000 at an after-party for the MTV Video Music Awards in New York City. This minor has described specific details regarding Jay-Z and Diddy, including descriptions of other celebrities that were present at the party.
You should always advocate for yourself and be a voice for yourself. You should never let what somebody else did ruin or run your life.
A 38-year-old mother from Alabama who has filed a lawsuit accusing Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z of raping her when she was 13 years old is speaking out to NBC News for the first time. She asked us not to reveal her identity.
What made you want to come forward and talk today?
Because I think that I've been quiet long enough about what I've been through, and it's been hard enough to be quiet, but it's a chapter of my life that I'd like to close.
You weren't scared to be all alone?
No, with having autism is like feeling like you live your life in a shatterproof juggle ball. The world's on fire. The fire is inside the ball with you, but there's no way for you to get out.
In addition to having autism, the woman says she suffered a head injury. The night of the 2000s VMAs, she says a friend drove her from Rochester, New York to Manhattan, a more than 5-hour drive. Her attorney provided NBC News with the name of the friend who has since died. The woman says she spoke to Combs' limo driver, who offered her a ride to an after party.
I stumbled upon Diddy's driver, who told me that I was exactly what Diddy was looking for.
What did you think when he said that to you?
I thought it meant that I was just pretty.
She went to a White House, she says, where she spoke to musicians Benji Madden and his brother.
I'm talking to Benji Madden about his tattoo because, I have about his tattoo that's the Last Supper, because I have a religious background. So it was just something to talk about.
At the after party, she says she had a drink that made her feel woozy. Then she says Combs and Carter took turns raping her while a female celebrity watched.
JC comes in and rapes me. He at that point I was fighting, trying to get away from him, and he put his hand over my mouth and told me to stop it, cut stop it, cut the
After the alleged rape, she says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up and drove her home.
We rode home in silence. He didn't ask me what happened. He didn't ask me what I did or where I was.
As we peel back the layers of this story, we realize that Diddy was never working alone. There is a whole web of celebrities that enabled the abuse that Diddy was carrying out, and without these people, Diddy would never have gotten as far as he managed to get. Jay-Z and the CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch are already in court over allegations of rape and sex trafficking, and it's only a matter of time before other defendants are going in behind. The identities of everyone who was at Diddy's parties are already in FBI custody, but given the people that Diddy was connected to, including Obama, Trump, and even British royalty, the real list of people that were involved might never come out. We already have evidence from witnesses that Diddy was abusing minors, and these minors were drugged, so they couldn't resist. All of these details are horrifying, and they paint a scary picture of the people who are in charge of this country.
And those statements include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. So I asked him about that, and he answered what he could, given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury. Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if they were. Right.
Sure.
Appeared to
Let
be.
me rephrase it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appeared to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appeared to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were all 8 were victimized,
Yeah,
meaning
victim.
this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
Tony Busby, the lawyer handling this case, has already mentioned how he is going to name everyone that was involved in these disgusting crimes. Allegedly, more than 300 victims are prepared to come forward, and they all have police reports and medical records that back up their claims. The new lawsuits filed against Diddy claim that some of the alleged victims include minors who were abused when they were as young as 9 years old.
We intend to name people in these lawsuits. We're not going to do it in interviews. We're not going to do it, without doing our due diligence, because obviously, these types of allegations are very hurtful to people if they're not true, and very hurtful, frankly, if they are true. But if they're true, you shouldn't have been in the room and you shouldn't have been participating. So I anticipate that we're going to start filing lawsuits, and it may not be big names at first, but we have a long list of names, and you might imagine in situations like this that when a victim tells us that this person was in the room or this person participated, we want to do as much due diligence as humanly possible before we file that case, because in the United States, in almost every state, public filings are in fact public, and when you name somebody in a lawsuit, the press is going to pick it up, and we're aware of that. So we're going to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's, and I expect that there will be some people named in these lawsuits that will raise some eyebrows.
Another instance, another minor, told allegedly by Sean Combs that he would make him a star, but he needed to visit with him in private about it, away from his parents. Once they were in a private area, allegedly Mr. Combs made the victim perform oral sex upon him. Another incident, an individual 15 years old at the time, flown to New York City to attend a party, was drugged and then taken into a private room, allegedly in the presence of Mr. Combs, where this female individual, a minor, was raped, and then other individuals took turns raping her. Another individual, 26 at the time of the occurrence, was picked up allegedly by Mr. Combs and several other people in a black SUV from the airport, was given one drink in the SUV, and then literally woke up the next day not knowing what had happened, but with pain and damage to both her vagina and her anus, where she then went to the hospital. She was missing her underwear and her shoes. Another instance, an individual, this time not a minor, attended a group dinner, allegedly with Sean Combs in Miami. She wasn't drinking because she was pregnant, but whatever she drank at the table, apparently, at least according to her, was laced with something. She blacked out, and she woke up in the same bed, again, allegedly, with Mr. Combs in his mansion in Miami. Her vagina and her anus were torn and sore.
But the question remains,
and I could
how
go
deep
on.
does this
I mean,
go?
literally,
And how many more names are we about to hear?
You're sensing a theme here.
Share your
It's
thoughts
the same
in the comments below.
Theme.